it could be someone that you know, it could be someone like the Dalai Lama, it could be someone like that, but someone that, when you think of them, and you think about the characteristics that they hold, you just deeply, deeply admire them and love them. Just think of someone, bring someone to mind. And as you think about this person, as you think about this individual, you feel a little warmth in your heart as you think about them. You know, you feel some energy as you think about your admiration and your respect for that being, for that person. Well, know that we cannot admire someone else. We cannot recognize the beauty in someone else without it also being within us. On some level, what we admire in someone else is also contained within us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see it. You would not be able to recognize it. So on some level, it is also within us. It's showing us our greatest potential. And we may look at ourselves and say, well, I'm not living my life that way. I'm not the Dalai Lama. You know, I'm not that. But what it's showing to us, what it's revealing to us, is our greatest potential. Our greatest potential. Yeah. I love this quote. Okay, well, I love it, yes. I'd like you all to see it as well. Okay, so the beauty we see in another soul is a reflection of our own. I love the image of this, isn't that gorgeous? Karen, it's a hummingbird with a rainbow, and the hummingbird is looking into this large eye. It's really quite beautiful. Yeah. So the beauty we see in another soul is a reflection of our own. Yeah. And so what's also true is that when we judge another, when we have animosity towards someone else, there is also some of that being reflected back to us. Yeah. You know, when we come into the world as these perfect little beings. Isn't that a cute picture? Yeah. Little baby looking at itself in the mirror. We've just come from Source. We have just come from this all-powerful, extraordinary energy of the divine. We get who we are. We don't have to question it. We are full of love. We are full of expression. We are full of beauty. We don't have fears. We don't have shame. We don't have judgments. We don't have insecurities. Last week I talked about the chubby little legs of the little babies and how they're walking around and they just know who they are. These perfect spiritual beings, unscathed by life. Unscathed. And then life happens. And we grow and we move through life and we forget. As we move through life, we forget that love and that perfection that we are. As life takes over and as we move through life, we begin to forget that. Yeah. And what does life then do? What does the universe do? What does God do? God then brings to us opportunities to then remember, to then be reminded of who we are, of the truth of who we are. And so life says, life is interesting. Life says, I'm going to bring you someone who is going to really upset you, make you just spiral downwards. I'm going to bring you someone who's going to push every button. I'm going to bring you someone who's going to make you so mad. Yeah. And this is where the rubber meets the road, right? We talk about our spiritual principles. We talk about how to live these in our lives. And we can come here on Sundays, and we can even read the Science of Mind textbook, and we can do a lot of things. Take Foundations class from Kelly. She's teaching that now. But where the rubber meets the road is when we are out in the world and we're in relationships, because that is our biggest source of expansion and growth. Yes? Are they not? Yes? Everybody's like, okay. Yeah. And so they're our greatest teachers. And it's not so much the stranger on the street that we pass as it is so much the people that we know and are close to us. Yeah. So, and in life, as these spiritual beings, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, but we have a lot more practice being angry and being in judgment than we do being love. Even though we came into this world as love, and we came into this world as these perfect beings, but boy, do we have a lot more practice at being judgmental and angry and upset than we do being these expressions of love and light. Yes? Yeah. But life is constantly trying to bring us back to love, bring us back to that. And our upset's never quite about what we think it's about. Hysterical is historical. I'll explain what that means. So whenever we are really upset, we've all had those moments where we're really upset with somebody, and we want to point the finger. Well, it's interesting, as we're pointing, and we've got 3 fingers pointed back towards us. Right? Like, oh, okay. Yeah, and so when we're really upset, it's never what we think it's about. We think it's about them. We think it's about something they've done. But really, it's about something from the past. It's always, if it's a really big trigger, a really big upset, it's not about them. We want to make it about them. Because boy, does it feel freaking good to make somebody wrong and to blame somebody. We've all been there. It feels really, really good. I'm not sure who said this, but I love this meme. I don't know if you can see that. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I was in a relationship once with a man who, I laugh now, it wasn't funny then. I was never more angry than I was at this man. He was curt, he was short with me, I was always doing something wrong. It didn't matter what, I was always doing something wrong. And he was just a very, very intense person, and I was constantly getting angry and upset with him, so mad. I wanted to punch my fist through a wall. Now you may look at me and think, really? You wanted to do that? I don't look like someone who would want to punch my fist through the wall, but I was so, you ever been that angry? So angry at someone for how they're treating you. And the anger just filled me, and I just wanted to, put my fist through a wall or do something else. And then I realized that really what was happening there is he was holding up a mirror for me. Don't blame me. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. This isn't about me. And so once I was able to see that, I could see that, okay, I'm angry at him, but the hysterical is historical. It's not about what's happening now. It's about what's happened in my history and my past. And I've shared some of this with you all in other talks, but I won't go into all the detail of it. But he reminded me of people from my past who were short and curt, who always made me feel like I was doing something wrong. And his behavior constantly made me feel that way. And so what I was experiencing and what I was feeling was, it was just stirring up another layer of something from my past. And here I thought, my God, I've done 20 years of therapy, I've done all this work on myself, what the heck is going on? It's another layer. Here's another layer. So it was providing me an opportunity to dive in again. I put myself back in therapy. I'm not suggesting you all have to do that. But when someone is triggering you that much and there's that much upset, there's something to look at. Again, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's like, okay, I can let this go. It's like, okay, yeah, let me just end the relationship and move on. That's what we do. This guy's a jerk, this person's a jerk, I'm just going to end this and move on. But I didn't do that because I recognized the spiritual significance of it. I didn't at first. But once I was able to see what he was reflecting back to me, it became an opportunity. An opportunity for me to then look at my own stuff once again. And it takes courage to do that. It takes tremendous courage. Because it would be much easier to just walk away. Oh, yeah. That's, I'll just move on. But again, the universe is interesting. The universe will come back again and bring you someone else who stirs this stuff right back up again. Has a very interesting sense of humor, the universe. Yeah? And this is what happens. This is what happens. So if we have the courage to then dive in and go, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to work with a practitioner? Do I need to work with a minister? Do I need to put myself back in therapy? Do I need to take a class? What am I willing to do to release this so that I don't have to carry this around anymore and continue to face this over and over and over again? Because what the universe is trying to do is to continually bring us back to what? To love. Always. Because that is our true nature. That is who we are. More than anything else is love. That divine perfection that is God, which is love, is who we are. And so life will bring us back again. Bring us back again. We always have that choice. We always have that choice. And I get it. It feels so good to be angry at somebody and to make them wrong. I get it. I've been there. But if we are truly walking the spiritual walk and applying what we're learning, what is this trying to show me? It's a great question to ask in those moments. What is this trying to show me? How is this individual a teacher to me in my life? You just ask those simple questions. How is this person a teacher to me? Simon Fuller, said this: what angers us in another person is more often than not an unhealed aspect of ourselves. If we had already resolved that particular issue, we would not be irritated by its reflection back to us. Right?
Well said.
Right? Well said, yes. If it wasn't something within us that needed some attention and some love and some healing, it would not be showing up. It would not be showing up. And what better way for it to be reflected back to us by someone who's in relationship with us or someone in our life? And we want to push that away, but if we can just stop for a second and say, okay, what is this person reflecting to me? What is it? What is happening right now in this moment that's causing this reaction in me? Yes, I want to blame them, but there's something deeper here for me. If it wasn't, it would not be coming up. It would not be coming up. And so what this also is saying is trust. Trusting that every single thing that happens to us in our life, every single person who triggers us, every single incident that upsets us, every single thing is by divine design. Trusting that. Every experience that we have that is hard, and boy, I get it, being human is freaking hard. But it's by divine design to continually bring us back to love, to choose love. Love is the highest vibration on the planet. It is the most powerful force that exists. And it is contained right here. Right here. You don't have to go far to connect with it. We don't have to go far to know that. It's always a choice. And so, asking the question, what is coming up for me? What is this person showing me? What is available to me through this experience? Once I realized what was being shown to me through my ex-partner, and I did the work, and it was painful. It was really painful. Because I thought I had this all handled. I had a lot of ego around that. Because I did all this therapy and classes and retreats, and my God. So I had a lot of ego around it. But I knew something big was coming up. It was another layer. I put myself back into therapy. I threw myself back into the fire. And there was stuff that came up that I hadn't even seen before. And I thought I'd seen it all. That's how much ego I had around it. And as that stuff is coming up, and my therapist, this is why therapy is amazing, because that person can hold that space for you as you're just, ugh. And I worked through it. I worked through it, and I was able to feel more free. And not only that, but the layer of forgiveness that I was able also to have towards the individuals from my past, that shifted as well. I had already forgiven them, at least I thought, but this created a whole other realm for me. Yeah. And so that's what's possible, and more freedom. Now, are there more layers for me? Probably so. Probably so. Because does it ever stop? As long as we're walking this life, as long as we are in this life, there's more layers. There's more layers. But we can either look at that as, damn, there's more layers. Or, what is this trying to show me? What is this trying to teach me? What is this pain trying to show me right here? What's being reflected to me? Because we're all here to keep growing and expanding who we are. If we weren't, we wouldn't be here. We'd be dead. If that part of us was gone, and we'd be dead. We'd be done. Right? Yeah. So if you're still alive, it means there's still more work to do. And we can either kick and scream and punch and resist it, or we can surrender to it and say, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you for bringing to me this experience, this person, this thing that is then bringing me back to my heart even more. Giving me the opportunity to return to the light and the love and the expression of God that I am in an even fuller way, in an even deeper way. That's the opportunity. And we all can't get to that place always where we can just say, thank you. Thank you, I did that. It's a process. It's a process. But know that life is always showing you something. Life is always trying to return you back to love. That is our true nature. It is who we are at the center and core of our being, and it's who we will be when we leave these physical bodies. Our soul is that. Our soul lives on for eternity. That is who we are. Ernest Holmes said this: the mirror is simply reflecting something that reflects. You cannot scratch the reflection out of the mirror, but you can change the image in front of it. And you are the image maker. So let us create new images which will reflect new patterns. So it's all perception. It's all what we see. We can choose to see something as bad and wrong and awful, or we can choose to see it in a new light and see it as an opportunity that's been gifted to us. It is truly a gift that we have been given. The universe, God, that almighty force that is that presence says, here is a gift. I am presenting this to you. Will you take it? Will you take it? Or are you going to resist it? Yeah. And so we say thank you. We say thank you. Thank you, life. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, beings in my life, for what you are showing me as you continually help me to expand and grow who I am. Thank you. And the energy of thanksgiving, the energy of gratitude, is a beautiful vibration. Even if you can't imagine looking at that person because you're really upset with them, but can you say, thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow, to expand, to learn, to make a different choice, to choose love over fear, to choose love over hate, to choose love over whatever upset is going on. Yeah. So as you go out into your week, I invite you to practice this. So also paying attention to those you admire, to those you have deep respect for, and remember that that's also within you. And to reflect on that. What does that say about me? What does that say about my potential in life? And if someone triggers you, and if someone is angering you, if someone has disappointed you, what is that also showing me? What is that also showing me? And then make a different choice. Choose to know that God is giving you a gift, truly a gift, reflecting back to you something that maybe needs a little more love, a little more attention. Are you willing to do that? Yes. So let's end with our affirmation once again. Let's say it together. I embrace what is being reflected to me, knowing it is a teacher in my life. Beautiful. Practitioners, I invite you to stand in high consciousness. Let's move into prayer. So just taking a breath, beginning with a sacred breath. We just know right here, right now,